Tristan with Nerdette's NewsStand, and honestly, this is going to be a little bit of a rant. Now, I will obviously be talking facts, but you get to a point where you see something so often and so many times, it absolutely loses its meaning. And there's a lot of things like that right now. And this rise of, I would say in the past 4 years, of this narrative that everything and everyone is white supremacy is getting to be a joke. Now, to me, it kind of seems like it is the boy who cried wolf, right? He cries wolf so many times, no one believes him. If you call everything white supremacy, then nobody believes you when there is truly an instance or a case. Now, I did see, and I was sent this little link a while back, and I haven't got a chance to actually go through it, but it is simply about the Department of Homeland Security talking about white supremacy. So we're going to get into that. But what I really want to focus on is escapism. And this is why I decided to make this video. Heather Antos. Good old Heather Antos. Oh, God. So what are you doing to stop it? Seems to me like a real good way to stop hearing about it. Somebody said, and I completely agree with this person. Why is it so comical to suggest that some people may be tired about hearing about white supremacy? I know. Okay. Everybody is. I think at this point, I would say the majority of people are. Now, you have to remember Heather is a comic book editor, and so she is talking about comic books, right? We're sick of seeing it in our books. We're sick of the politics. It's getting worse. And it makes it, again, let's go back to the cry wolf thing, right? I was reading Death Metal last night, Multiverse End. And there actually is an Earth X, that is full of Nazis, right? It's a real thing. It's been around for forever. It's been with freedom fighters. But even me knowing that and reading about it, when I got to the part about punching Nazis, I rolled my eyes because you have made that word by doing this, Heather Antos and the likes of Heather Antos. Just for this tweet, there are a million other just like it. Whether it is Scott Snyder or it is Tom Taylor, people that I really enjoy reading. They're all the same at this point. Some are worse than others, but they have gotten very, very similar. There's only a few exceptions anymore, at least. But when you call everything white supremacy, nothing is. And when you go, like I said, going back to this cry wolf thing, when you say it so often, put it in our books so often, when we read about it so often, and I actually see Earth X, that is a Nazi Earth, I still roll my eyes. I still don't want to see it, even though it's established lore from before all this, because I'm like, for fuck's sake, really? More? Like, it's no different. Even to the point where I want to talk a little bit about Joker War, right? So, Joker War, right now, I got really irritated with, and I had to reel myself back in, because what they're doing, and if you've seen John Ridley's story in the Joker Warzone one-shot, basically, Lucius is still under Joker toxin, right? He's still under it to a point, and he refuses to give back Batman his money. He is, in a sense, for 2021, defunding Batman. And then in the same, little one shot there, they basically, the cops pulled the gun on the brown person instead of the Joker guys. And it's silly. I had to look past it because I had to realize it's an allegory. Yes, it's very clearly an allegory, but it's also him still infused, Lucius still infused with Joker toxin. So he's not in his right mind. And that's why the cop pulled the gun, right? But they're still making those lines just thin enough that we're not dumb. We know what you mean at this point. And everybody at least that I talk to, and I understand, people get into an echo chamber type thing, right? So even in, my community here on the channel, people in the comment section, are sick of it. They're sick of the blatant propaganda. So this took me on a little bit of a journey, right? I started actually researching. I'm like, you know what? If I seen this, tweet from Heather Antos, and I was sent the article about Department of Homeland Security draft saying that white supremacy is the most lethal threat. I think Juan sent me that. So I started looking into it more, right? And I'm like, why is this deemed a threat when we don't hear about violence coming from these people on a normal basis? Now, don't get me wrong. Every single thing about Nazis or true white supremacists are fucking evil. I will be clear about that. I have no respect for any of those people. But the problem is when you call everybody it, you don't know who really is. Because you're calling literally the neighbor and the dentist and then the real Aryan person. So how can you kind of decide between who if you have no real facts and evidence? So that's what I went out looking for. I went out looking for facts and evidence. Why did this start? Why is this such a big thing when 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, we all lived together in peace? Obviously, they're trying to divide us as a nation. They're trying to divide and conquer, right? So that's obvious. But even looking for numbers, what they go on, and I did talk about this yesterday, is ignorance. I talked about how the left loves to, not the entire left, but I'm talking about figureheads, people like Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, people like Gretchen Whitmer, love to, say one thing, right? So they will say white supremacy is a really big problem in America. My God, please leave a like on this video. I've said such terrible things that you two hate. And just leave a comment because it's going to get buried. But they will say something like that, right? They will tell you how terrible it is, how dangerous they are, and hope you're ignorant enough to not look it up. Because when you look it up and actually look for real numbers, yes, any hate crime, any hate, I completely condone. I feel like I'm going to have to keep saying that. But when you look up actual numbers, they're not there. Talking about the KKK themselves, there is, at least as of right now, they kind of expect, obviously they don't know exact numbers, but they can give you a rough estimate. And it would be foolish of me to believe that after the ending with Germany, right, that there wasn't people that came over here. I mean, most of them did. So it'd be foolish of me to think that it just completely was, fake. It's not. But it's not what you think it is. Now, keep in mind that we have over 350 million people in America, okay? That's the base number. What we're looking at right now, as far as numbers go for the actual KKK itself, is between 5,000 and 8,000 members nationwide, right? That's 350 million people. Please remember these numbers. We have, as far as, and I have to use crappy statistics because it's very hard to find. Even using Southern poverty law, which is completely a joke, there's only 47 KKK hate groups across America. 47. Okay. How about white nationalists, right? Because you gotta include that if you're talking about white supremacy, right? 155. Yeah. So less than 200 groups across America. But what they don't tell you, and what they refuse to tell you, and they will never say in the mainstream, is that black separatists, which is black power, right, has 255 hate groups across America. Why are we focusing on something that is shown in your media, I'm using your media against you, which is Southern Poverty Law, has less than 200 hate groups. But Black Separatist has more. So why are we talking about one and not the other? If you want to be fair, you need to be fair. Now, whether you're Black separatist, white nationalist, any of those, I don't have any need for it. I don't personally have any need for any hate whatsoever. Again, being very clear, because people love to, take my videos and completely say that I'm saying something else when I'm not. But what I did find, which was very interesting to me, we've talked on this channel before about Yuri Bezmenov and what he kind of lectured on when it came to the infiltration of America when it comes to communists, right? I'm not even going to call them Marxists because that's just their way of trying to make it sound better. No, they're communists. They're terrible people. But one thing he said was about demoralizing and going into America and making everything seem a little less important, whether it was your integrity or demoralizing, right? Or the way that you treated your fellow man or anything like that. So what's one way to demoralize a country? You take away their religion. And it's very funny to me that when I'm reading this article, right? This article is absolutely garbage, for one, but even so, I'm using your media against you when it comes to people that lean left, right? And it talks about they need to interrogate the relationship of white supremacy and Christian identity. Why? There's Black Christians. Why do you need to go that far? These people that see white supremacy everywhere, or Nazis everywhere, their neighbors are Nazis, they're going down the road, and that guy, even though he's Mexican, he's probably a white supremacist, and he is going to get you. So you better run and have your mace, and maybe the dog walker down the road, he's probably evil, right? Those kind of people feel to me like the kids that needed their underneath their beds checked and their closets checked. Like the boogeyman lives in there when they were a kid, and now the white supremacist lives in there, right? Why do you have to talk about Christianity and white supremacy? Why does that make even any sense? It says the system and structures of white supremacy have been intimately joined with Christian supremacy, because there's no Black Christians. Just thought I'd let you know, if you're Black and you're a Christian, you're not real. Better, pinch yourself. Such that undoing white supremacy will also, this is very important, will also require relinquishing the ideologies and theologies of Christian supremacy. I thought America was based and founded upon being able to openly practice any religion you want. We have seen just a huge effort to, construe this white supremacy narrative, but also about God and kind of backing away from the church, keeping it away from any sort of mainstream media. You can't make movies. You can't talk about it. If you're a Christian, you better stay in the closet because it is a terrible thing. Well, that's not okay, but it does go along with what Yuri Bezmenov said. Now, I'm not preaching any sort of conspiracy theories here. I will show you the ADL's website. The ADL, yes, the ADL literally has white supremacy, white supremacist gangs, neo-Nazis, traditional racist skinheads, and Christian identity. So now they can inflate their numbers. They can inflate their numbers, and that's exactly what the ADL does, to include Christianity under white supremacy. Tell me how messed up that was. And maybe this is widely known. This is just something I have been researching, and I came across this. Why is this together? I have no idea. I don't have a good explanation. I don't understand. Not Catholicism, but Christianity is. Now, there is a whole nother group, because Catholicism is something in its own. Because we do see at Southern Poverty Law Catholicism as a hate group. I don't understand what America we're living in right now. Why are any of these things okay? Why is it okay to include every single white person as a white supremacist and inflate your numbers? It's not. The numbers are very small. Now, of course, I did mention numbers about between 5,000 and 8,000 for Ku Klux Klan, including all of the big numbers. I'm talking white nationalists. I'm talking about all of them. Adding them up, it is still less than 300,000 people. That's everybody. That's the real people. I'm not including Christians. I won't. So, 300,000 people. We have over 350 million people in America. So, what they are making the biggest deal about, what their narrative is telling you, is it's a big problem. 0.001% of the population has dominated and changed the way our media looks at everything. These people that are actually Nazis and white supremacists, have no power, have no money, have no morals or integrity. Why are you giving them a spotlight when half of them don't exist? Again, it's the boogeyman in your closet. So here's what you do as a big company. Keep it out. Keep it out of your comic books, Heather Antos. Keep it out of your video games. Keep it out of every single thing, or people are going to stop buying your product. And people are going to start looking at everything with a political lens on. And that's where you start losing customers. And I am so fucking sick of seeing this narrative in my books. I pay good money weekly for this stuff. I pay good money for my video games or my movies. Money that is worked for. I'm not going to waste it. It's ridiculous. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this or about the Christianity. I'm going to keep looking into it. I find all of this very interesting, the way we're lied to. And I like doing weird. Don't ask. I'm way too into learning instead of probably just, watching a movie. But anyways, I find it interesting. I find all of it very interesting. So let me know, of course, what you guys think about all of this. If you think I'm completely wrong, let me know also, because I would love to know what the reasoning is that I am not seeing. I would love to be opened up to that. And then maybe, go on from there. So I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.